The black drink ceremony is what they called it. And believe it or not, to this very day, people still take part in the black drink ceremony. There's a type of indigenous holly, even 12,000 years ago, it seems, was available to them. It's the only caffeinated plant available to the tribes in North America, but it's exceedingly strong. It's a plant of visions. Some people take it and they die because of the massive amount of caffeine in the drink. The leaves are like a holly tree. They dry them, they make them into a powder, then they make their tea. They all that decided to take part in the ceremony drank of the tea. It was bitter and foul to the taste. But afterwards, they began to feel different, one in each. They began to feel a sweat break out on their head and their heart began to thump, 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 thump. Their heart began to thump in their chest. One of them cried out, "It hurts! I'm having a heart attack," one of them said. They began to vomit, some of them. But each that had taken part in the ceremony soon settled and began to calm down. They sat at attention, sweating and listening to the holy men. More than listening, they were seeing visions, strange sights, things that they never would have seen. Reality had become blurred, like some psychotropic thing. They reached out into the air, like in a movie, a 3D or 4D movie, reaching out, trying to grab hold, trying to touch this strange world before them. The shamans began to speak, and something amazing happened. They heard them. They knew the words that they were speaking. They didn't question how they suddenly were able to speak the language of the people of the river. They only listened to the story of the people. For thousands of years, the people had traveled across this land. For thousands of years, they had seen many strange things, many wonders, many terrors. They had survived and thrived. They worshipped this place, the ancestors and the spirits of this place, and have become in accordance with it. It tries to kill them, this place, and it has made them strong. They live here now by the strength of their arms and the power of their wit and their stories. They listened. Some wept as they saw the story of the great fight, of the time of troubles, and of the horror that creeps. They are under attack in this place. I heard the screams start when they were being shown the enemy, the troublers, those that eat. They were horrifying, and they were out there. The people of the river had been safe. They had never crossed the river before until recently. You were in their territory. People were screaming in terror to know it. If they had kept going across that river, they would have went right into the territory of them. The visions began to pass soon afterwards. The sweat on their brow dried, and the people were stunned, laying there as the visions began to fade. The black drink ceremony had taught them much. Those that did not take part in the ceremony still could only communicate with hand signals after the others had told them. But everyone still was able to communicate with the people of the river. "Is this magic?" one of them said. They did not know the word magic, but it is good as, I suppose, someone said. "It's science," the doctor said. "Nothing but science. I just don't understand how this science works." Computer, turn volume down. It has to be science. But there was a strange look on Professor Johnson's face. He wasn't so sure of himself. They ate that night of the fat of the land. These people were industrious. They grew crop inside their village. They even harvested mushrooms, but they hunted mostly, dried their meat, preserved it in a number of ways. That night, I want you to listen and enjoy with me as I tell you how they enjoy their meals. It might seem strange to you and I. A massive fur was brought out. It was huge, the fur of a mastodon. They began filling it with all manner of vegetables and meats, mastodon meat, glyptodon meat, the meat of terror bird, and many other things. Shellfish, great gigantic crayfish as big as any Maine lobster you've ever seen, scallops as big as your head, bigger, and freshwater mussels that weighed 30 pounds. They filled the massive mastodon skin with all of those meats, and then one by one they plucked red hot stones from the fire, and they dropped them in the hide bag that they had made. They cooked their meat and sealed up with leather around the mastodon. The hot stones cooked the meat and all the vegetables to absolute perfection. They covered the whole thing with leaves and they let it cook away. And they enjoyed the local beverages. They had milks made of the nuts of the trees. They did not farm for animals. They did not have anything like that, but they did have teas, tisanes. They had lovely, lovely fruit juices, and they enjoyed those things, along with a local beer. It was strong, too. It was made of millet and grain, fairly sweet, and before long, people were really enjoying themselves drinking that stuff. They remembered, though, remembered the enemy like we remember our bad dreams fading away, and they were frightened. They had no idea, none whatsoever, what to expect next. It was 12 or so at night. Nobody had any idea really how to tell time anymore, when Christopher heard something that he was getting all too familiar with. Ah! The sound of screams. This time, though, it wasn't the screams of his people. They had put every one of our people together in one spot, in the very center of the village, in a hut that was given just for them. The screams were coming from without, from into the village itself. Christopher sat up in a hurry. What's going on? Everybody was yelling. Some of them counseled to stay inside, and the other ones said no. They went outside and they saw them for the first time. Unfortunately, Rich Dennis was too close. The massive thing reached down and grabbed Rich up. Rich screamed, squirming in the air. I heard him yell, "Throw a grenade at it! Throw a grenade at it! No, don't throw a grenade! No, shoot it! Help me!" But the thing was stuffing him in a hide bag of its own. It was easily 14, maybe 13 feet tall. It was a giant. Its legs were as big around as a man. Its feet seemed in some ways like our own, but altogether different. It was humanoid, but it was no human. It had a shock of red hair from the top of its head in a spiky mass running down its back, almost like a happy trail, but not so happy. The beast was massive, its chest as wide as 3 men, its arms gnarled and long, nearly dragging the ground. It had picked Rich up with a hand unlike any the world had ever seen. A giant's hand. Rich was screaming and squirming in the bag, and I saw the beast wind the bag up over its head and slammed it on the ground. Christopher yelled, "No! Rich, no!" The giant rumbled down low in its chest. The others were screaming as well. They had no idea what to do. "Get inside!" somebody yelled. They didn't stand a chance. One by one, these foul beasts stalked through the village. They were indiscriminate. They were taking them all. Some they were killing right away. Others they were keeping fresh. It seemed they wandered through the village. It was over fairly quickly. It was over fairly quickly. All of our friends, all of them, gone, stuffed into the bags. They had no idea how long they had been in the bags. It was brutal. There were people alive and people that were dead in those bags. They were all separated. It seemed there were around 6 or 7 people in each bag before they closed them off. They carried them maybe through the night, for when they arrived at the Giants' camp, it was daylight. They emptied all the bags into a pit that they had dug specifically for them, a massive pit. It was so low that there seemed to be no hope of escape whatsoever. They were horrified down there. It took a sudden turn. I know. And it wasn't a very pleasant turn. You just got yourselves all safe in the village, and you were going to have a nice night, sleep off the booze. And suddenly, you're under attack by giant kin, and they've got you. They've got you in their hole. One of them reaches down, and it grabs one of you, Miss Pookie. No, not Miss Pookie. It grabs Pookie out, pulls her out of the hole, and I'm certain that it's going to eat her. The question is, will it eat her, or will you vote her out? If you would like it to eat Miss Pookie, all you have to do is vote for the little crying person. But if you'd like to save Miss Pookie, all you have to do is vote for the little happy person. I needed to buy myself a break to go get some water. That's why we're eating Pookie. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. If you're joining me, it's going to seem very, very strange. If you're new to Storytime, I do apologize. I'm going to come over and say, hey, I see a couple of you guys over there. Hey, I'll be right back, all right? Give me just a minute. Sorry, Rich. That's right. If you get eaten, you got to go over to Uncle Yube. If you're eaten, then you're cast out of the Storytime. You got to go to the other places. All right. I'm interested to see if you've saved one. Yes. Give me just a moment here. Sally reminded me that I need to do this. There we go. There we got it. Changes everything, huh? All right, how'd that vote go? How'd the vote go? Are we picking people off? Let's see. Oh, you saved her. You saved her. The giant fumbled for just a moment. It looked at our friend. It leaned down, sniffing, and evidently it didn't like what it smelled. It promptly threw our friend into the hole where our friends caught her. Thank goodness. Somebody said, oh, thank goodness, you saved her. Oh, you got some good friends. They saved your bacon. Evidently that giant didn't like what it smelled, and it turned you loose. Now, what are we going to do? Christopher says. Professor Johnson was hurt badly. He can barely speak. He looks over to Christopher, and it seems that he's passing the torch. He turns it over to Christopher, and Christopher looks at everybody. Everybody's voice counts here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the hell those things are other than what we were shown in that black drink ceremony. Giants, monsters, they eat us. We saw that in the visions. They eat us. We know what that means. We can't stay here. We have to get out. And the way I look at it, we have two options. We can either try to climb out of this hole, or we can start digging now. The earth around them was fairly soft, and some of them still had metal tools on them. These giants were used to dealing with the people that only had stone tools. Christopher said, every one of you that has knives, I want you to start digging. Digging now. The way we came in would be the very best way to get us out of here. But I think if we dig left and down, it'll break through the wall much faster. It's our only hope, Christopher says. Or, we can't do both. I need everybody that's not digging, even them, to stand on each other's shoulders. We could stand on each other's shoulders and reach the rim, I think. And at least one of us could get out. One of us could go get rope and haul the rest of us out or something. The sound of those giants had faded in the distance. They were gone. I don't think we should do anything for now. What if they see us trying to escape? They're going to try to eat us, somebody said. Christopher looked everybody in the eye and said, we're going to vote this out. If you want to try to climb out of here, if you want us to wait until night, like our friend said, until they go to sleep, and you want us to climb out of here, we'll do that. But if you want us to dig out and start digging right now, then we can do that. It's up to you. And he put it up to the vote. If you guys would like to dig your way out, and I'm going to read the chat too. I want to hear. I want some good ideas, plot points and details and things. So don't remember that. I want to hear what you guys have for plot points and all that good stuff too. This is a choose your own adventure, like the kind you used to read when you were a kid, if you're my age, in a book. But this is a little bit different, where you have the power. You guys get to choose. So if you want to dig out of here, vote for the little smiling face. But if you want to try to climb out, wait for them to sleep and then try to climb out, then vote for the little crying face. Try digging now. Start digging. All of you, get your butts down there in the dirt, start digging like you've never dug before. Or wait till those giant bastards fall asleep and do what Christopher said. Climb out, get a rope, and then get the Hello Kitty out of there. Try to get back to the village or out of the range. See what happened. It's up to you. You decide, friends. It's looking like you guys want to dig right now. Is that the consensus of the vote? Christopher says. Well, let's get to it. We better start digging now. I need a few of you to make a shield to shield us from above so they don't see what we're doing. Get digging now. And it's exactly what they did. They dug, and they dug, and they dug. They didn't get very far. They had only dug for maybe an hour, made very little headway. The route they were going, it would take much longer than Christopher thought. When they were digging, they heard a noise. They had been discovered. It was a youngling, one of the small giants, still bigger than any woman that's ever lived. 6'4", 350 pounds of pure muscle. The youngling howled, looking down, and it dropped something. It was a heavy grapple, like a fish hook. Oh, God. Oh, no. Sorry, guys. I gotta grab one of you. Sucker repellent. It grabbed Sucker. Oh, I'm sorry, Sucker. The barbs of that wicked instrument dug into Sucker's flesh, and hand over hand, the young female giant pulled him out. She was screeching horribly. She grabbed him and, oh God, pulled his arm off! Pulled his arm off! I saw her took a bite of it. She took a bite of you! And then she ran to tell the others what had happened. Before long, I heard the thunderous sound of them approaching. They were yelling guttural and loud. They were pissed off. They were mad that those insects were trying to dig out. Oh, God, what have we done? What have we done, Miss Morgan? No! They grabbed a number of you out of the cave, and I saw one bite a head right off. It chewed it, made a horrible sound. It was like me eating a piece of candy, one of those nice crunchy ones that I like, Chewy Fusion. Crunch, crunch, crunch. It was like something from a horror movie. They took a few of them, and the others, they reached down and put in cages, individual cages, and those cages they hung from the top of the pit. Oh, God, we're done now. We're done in. You guys really made a bad choice. Just to let you know, if you had waited till they fell asleep, I was going to let you all go free. Let you all go free. You really screwed it up. Now you're paying. Now you're all in cages. Oh, God. What have you done? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't let you off quite that easy. Sarah, I gotta have a little bit of fun every once in a while. Meemaw was dangling in the cage. She was crying, wondering what was going to happen next. The cages were moving in the air, back and forth. From their cages, they could see the giants going about their business. They could see them. They sure could. They were preparing their friends for supper. Meemaw tried to turn away, but she couldn't. She kept looking back in fascination, watching as they ripped and tore. It looked absolutely like Meemaw at Thanksgiving getting the chicken and the turkey ready and the ham out of the oven. She thought the way that they spatchcocked Jimmy, breaking his back and opening up his legs. Sorry, Jimmy. Jimmy got spatchcocked by the giants. Meemaw watched as they put him in pots and stews. Oh, God, Jimmy, no. Oh, no. Meemaw thought to herself, I heard everybody communicating in their cages. What are we going to do now, Christopher? It's all your fault. You told us to dig. You did this. Shh, shh. You're going to bring him back, somebody yelled. Shut up, man. We can cut our way out of these. We can cut our way out of these cages. Hey, Edmundo, if they sent Jimmy to somebody else like a turducken, they did. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. We're getting towards the end of our little choose your own adventure. Then we're going to get right back into our regular story time. I promise you in a minute. Everybody's rotating in their cages like animals ready for the slaughter. Meemaw thinks to herself, we don't deserve this. None of us do. But these young people, I'm a Meemaw. I've lived a long life of 39 years. I can't let them all get eaten. Meemaw began to think to herself. She plotted and she schemed and she thought of something. She had an idea. It was an idea that she had once seen or read in a book. She thought it would work if everybody did exactly as she said. She laid out the plan for everyone. They listened. It would be up to Meemaw to pull it off. If Meemaw could do this, and the others could keep up, then maybe, just maybe they would get out of this. Meemaw waited for the right moment. She waited till they came back. They grabbed a few of the cages. The cage that they grabbed happened to be Meemaw's. She pretended to faint away in the corner. She was acting, of course, her greatest act. She'd been an actress her whole life. She loved theater. She knew that she could pull this off. She waited until they opened up her cage, and she fell to the ground and began to violently shake, like she was having an epileptic fit. To add to this wonderful ruse, she loudly defecated all over herself, diarrhea explosively, all over herself. She began to thrash on the ground and act like she was extraordinarily sick, and then she pretended to die. Quite well. She stopped moving. The others also, about that time, began to shake violently. Some of them that were able urinated on themselves and even defecated, so it would look just like Meemaw's act. Everyone in the cage, Omeganaut had no problem vomiting on himself, shaking violently. They all fell down as if dead. I heard a screech from the giants. I heard a horrifying sound, and it seemed as if their little ruse worked. They drew away, terrified of the cages. One of them was yelling loud in a strange guttural language. It didn't sound like language at all, but the others seemed to understand. A moment later, a very large, very old, and white-haired giant came out and collected up the cages one by one, gingerly holding them out like this. The giant was holding in its own gorge as it carried the cages outside. It seemed that Mima's ruse worked. The cages were brought outside and they were hurled into the river. This was the trickiest part, Mima said, would be not making any sound. And the cages were now dropping down in the water. And the giant that threw them there turned away. Unfortunately, not everyone got out of their cages that night. Some of them drowned in that river. You see, Mima and Christopher hadn't planned for that part. They didn't think they'd be thrown in the river, just tossed outside. Some drowned, but the others cut themselves free. And we're going to have a commercial break. I figure I'm going to have a commercial break because we could do these stories all day and all night. But I kind of miss just doing regular stories because it's a little bit easier for me to do those. Not a little bit easier, but I get to do different stuff quicker. I get bored pretty easy. So doing a story that lasts 2 or 3 days, I just get kind of plumb wore out. So I think after this, we'll probably we'll go back to our individual stories for you guys, if that's all right. Hey, Brew, were you the giant redhead? No. Hey, Lonely Forever, I'm so glad to see you. Well, what do you think of this curveball? Do you enjoy this, coming in every once in a while, doing something a little bit different? I hope so. You love the new kind, do you? Oh, I'll be doggone. Hey, Brew, thank you so much for being here. Amy Long, thank you so much for liking and being so amazing all the time, everywhere I find you. You are just the best. You know that? You really are. It's different. You like that? I like different, too. I like different, too. You love it or Megan? You missed it, Brew? You enjoy it all, Rachel? Me, too. You're the best, Jalen. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm glad we're back, too, for a time being. I'm glad to see you guys, too. Very, very good to have you. Over this next week, we're bringing in a lot of new things. We're still in a little tiny corner of the room, but as we grow, we're going to be adding things. But I hope to have a proper room here before long where, we have a little bit more room and have some new features. We're hoping to have a television where we have it connected, so you'll have some options to vote on the screen. We want you to have truly have an interactive experience during any story time. So hopefully it'll be set up before too long where you'll have a website you can go to and you can do everything you want to do there if you want to and connect with us. It'll be fun. You have not involved Big Red. Oh, Red's not in there yet? Uh-oh. We got to get Red involved. All right, Red. I don't know how you can top what Mima did. I really do. Yeah, Rachel, we do. We're over on all the other. So we ask you guys periodically to go to my link tree. I've got some friends from another place with us tonight, Uncle Yube and Uncle Tickety Talk. So yeah, definitely go to my link tree. We're also hosting a podcast now. We've had our first episode. I got another guest lined up for this week. We'll have it out this coming week. Excited for that. And you'll find us in other places. And I'm having fun in other places as well. But we have no idea what'll happen. It might just be that we have a reprieve or a stay of execution. So please do follow me wherever you find me, and the show will continue. But in the meantime, I'm going to be here tonight, tomorrow, and the day after, Monday through Friday. This weekend, we're going to be traveling. I got to go pick up. I got to get on these ugly old roads and travel. I'm hoping my truck will make it all right. But we need to get to Chicago, and we got to go to Ohio to pick up some stuff, some furniture. What little furniture we have, we can bring home now. So. All over. Hey, Becky, I'm glad to see you. Big Red. Hey, Toaster Johnny. Thank you guys for liking. I know this is a different kind of way we're doing the story time too, but please do remember we always have goals. We always have liking goals. You guys are almost at 100K, which means we'll add somebody to the next story when we do our regular story. But we do have gift goals. We have like goals. And we'd love to have you guys share this out and invite other people in. More people mean more opportunities, more ideas, and more victim tears, and more heroes and more villains. So we really would like if you can do that. If you have any way that you can make noise, please do. You don't have to give anything, although we do very much appreciate it. Rachel, thank you so much for that. But you don't have to. And if you would like to help out, behind me is a board, and periodically I'll get my big butt out of the way. But that is all the giving apps if you'd like to contribute to what we do. And we get to do a lot of fun stuff too. I'm hoping that we'll be able to get down to Naples and work with the big cats and things here soon too. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being awesome and being nice too. You're making it easy for my moderators because they're all nice. Everybody's behaving. So Wildcat, thank you for sharing the live, and thank you guys for being here. The greatest gift you can give me is attention, you know? I feed off of that. And the noise that you make, it makes me feel like you're clapping when I see those likes. Rachel, I'm going to take the next minute before we get into the story or where we are with the story. I'm going to thank everybody that I see. If you've given anything, if you've come in and liked, if you've just been here and shared your time with us, would you say me? Eric, I see you, buddy. Becky Ridge, I got you. Wildcat, thank you so much. I don't have coins and it won't let me recharge. That's okay, Fraggle. I've heard that some people are having some issues with that. That's just how she goes. And I understand. I know that a lot of people would like to if they could, and I can't. So we completely understand that. We really do. One good way you could help support us, it's $2.99, but you could go over and buy my podcast. That would be a really, really great way. It's on Patreon. But the Creature Preacher podcast, that'd be a great way that you could support Shelly and I. And we're going to put more episodes out. That's just the start. That's the first one. So we have recurring stuff. But if anybody wanted our podcast, our first episode is with a bear attack survivor, Tyler Johnson, and he did phenomenal. He did a great job. And there's a little bit of feedback with the mic, but we're learning as we go, so sorry about that. It's negative too? No way. All right, so where were we in the story? Where was we? Oh, yes. Some of them did not make it out of their cages, but the others had cut their way free. Some of them were barely able to breathe when they made it to the other side of the river. But when they did, they saw two of the people had been waiting there for them, almost as if they had expected it. And it seems that others had gotten away as well. They had split them up. Some were in some areas and others. They had no idea which way to go from there. It was Big Red that had the idea, that he knew exactly the direction that they were supposed to head. Johnson didn't make it out. He was one of those that drowned. In fact, there were very few brew of them left. So, I see it, thank you. So they began to carry on in the direction that they had meant. Believe it or not, they were much closer than they had thought they would be. But without Dr. Johnson, what hope did they have of ever making it out of there alive? He was the only one that knew anything about the particle accelerator, or at least that's what Big Red had thought. They traveled the rest of the night and through the day. It only took about 6 hours of walking steady. They had no more issues. It was almost as if everything that had happened before had bought them this momentary freedom. They were horrified when they saw the animal that came out of the shrubs. They'd never seen anything quite like it. It was the size of a car. It was a glyptodon, but nobody there quite knew its name. They had seen something like it in a Madagascar or Ice Age movie. That's the one. But it's an ancestor of the armadillo. But this one was 2,000-3,000 pounds, 4,000 pounds. They had a large bony head and a tail with a club on it that they could use to whack anything trying to hurt them. But it was just an herbivore. It was quietly and slowly moving across the landscape, chewing its food. They gave it a wide berth and they continued on their way. From a distance, they saw something that could only be a terror bird. It headed in their direction, but the fact that they all stood together, it frightened it off. They saw some other small animals, and at one time they saw something that absolutely stunned each and every one there. It was a bird of some kind. It was unlike any bird that they had ever seen in their lives, though. And there was a reason they had never seen anything like it. Argentavis was the largest flying bird that's ever lived. It could be 24 feet from wing to wing. It was a scavenger, though, thankfully. Somebody mentioned it looks just like a vulture. It's coming down, Red said. And sure enough, it was coming closer. But it never came to the ground. It got one look or smell of them, and it soared higher under the thermals and away. It was beautiful, somebody remarked, but it was Fraggle, oh, Fraggle, that saw the most beautiful thing that any of them had ever seen. Oh my God, the building! She looked off in the distance and she saw something. Sorry, friend, I can't do a live right now. I just have a hard time keeping up with the chat if I do. She saw something in the distance. They're all dead then. It was a mirror image of the building that they had been in earlier. It looked exactly the same. It was flashing on and off like a hologram. Fraggle said, "Oh my God, it's my car!" Sure enough, it was. Some of the others recognized their cars. They began running then, running. It was strange. They could see green trees behind. They could see the palm trees. They could see all the trees that they had seen in the parking lot. This strange mirage, this bubble. They were terrified that they would get to it and it would fail them. But the moment they got to it, it was like passing through jello, hot jello, almost like static cling. They came through, making a popping sound, like a static discharge. And everybody cried out in wonder. They looked behind them and they could see the same thing as they had come through, the staticky, strange, holographic image of the world that they had just left. In the distance, they could see one of those damn giants. It was coming for them. It was heading fast in their direction. But it began to fade. They saw it clearly, as if watching the sun go up or down, but faster. They watched as this strange opacity faded away, and all they were left with was their future, or the time that they had left. Fraggle couldn't believe it. She walked a few feet to her car, opening it up, got in and sat down. The leather was hot. Usually it pissed her off, but she was so relieved. Oh, it hurts. It's so great. Some of the others were weeping, looking at pictures of their families, thinking that they would never, ever have seen them again. And some were crying because they lost their loved ones. Christopher had lost many friends, but there were quite a few left. It was all Dr. Johnson's fault, he thought. They walked into the building in stunned disbelief. They had no idea what would come next. Oh, Megan, you're amazing. All right. Get in or I'm leaving you, Fraggle said. I'm going to sit for just a minute, going to read your chat. I figured I'd close that one out. We were having fun with it, but we're going to go back to our regular story time. It's easier for me to keep up and tell you guys stories like that. But I promise you, we'll do this occasionally. We'll have these on occasion too. Brew, I love you. Thank you, Brother Donnie. Omega, thank you so much. Get in or I'm leaving. I love it. Toaster Johnny, you are the best. I'm sorry I didn't throw a lot of you guys in the story, but Judy, thank you so much. 542 roses. Holy cow. Thank you. Toaster Johnny, thank you so much. And Brew, thank you, Omega. I really do appreciate you guys. I'll tell you what, I've had a really interesting day and a good night. I got some news a little bit ago that made me feel a lot better about something that had happened a few weeks ago that wasn't very pleasant. And, that felt really good. I've just had some good things. We're settling into our home here. Omega, you are unbelievable. I hate it when Johnson's at fault. I know, that damn Johnson. I liked it, Red. I love you, buddy. Meemaw crapped on my shoe. I haven't heard from Meemaw. I think she's pissed at me now. Meemaw, I had to do it. You saved everybody, You really did. You saved them. Your act convinced them that you guys you would make them sick. And if they ate you, that they would get sick. They got sick from eating people before. They thought you were diseased. You had some form of rabies or distemper. So they weren't going to chance it with you. It's like getting a bad oyster. I get an oyster that even looks a little bit different than the others. Got a little bit of a smell to it. I go, no, sirree, Bob, not me. Mama didn't raise no fool. I'm not eating you. And that's exactly what they saw. Hey, you want to hear something really cool? She went to sleep. You guys want to hear a really cool fact about poop? I like telling you guys about cool stuff. I'm an ecologist, a zoologist, whatever, environmental scientist, whatever you want to call it. But here's a really cool thing. I talked a little bit earlier about vultures. Vultures are really cool birds. People don't give them really good credit, but vultures are really, really cool. And a really, really cool thing about vultures, sorry guys, I don't mean to exclude you. A really, really cool thing about vultures is they poop on themselves to cool down. They can air condition their bodies by pooping on themselves. Really, it's a true story. Hey, thank you for the heart meal, Megan. So, if you ever see a vulture and their legs are covered in this white poo, it's because they're hot and they needed to cool down. But because of the unique chemicals in their feces, it actually acts to cool them, cools their skin. It's really cool. I think it's a neat fact. I thought maybe you guys would like it. Hey, Joe America, thanks for the heart meal. Megan, holy cow, Melissa Luxton. Did you see my story you did for me on my profile? No, but I'd love to, Melissa. That makes me so happy. Please shout to me again, Zoo. I would love that. I would love that. I'd love you guys to get your stories and go do stuff with them. It makes me really, really happy. The urates, you know it, Brew. Look at you go. Brew is a keeper, a zookeeper. Knows probably more about these critters than I do. It's absolutely right. Those chemicals, uric, uric acids. So really cool. And they're not the only bird that does that. That has the old poop on myself to keep me cool. And there's a lot of animals that urinate on themselves to keep themselves cool too, and lick themselves and other things. Kangaroos, they'll just lick the hell out of themselves and they cool themselves down. They auto-regulate their temperature that way. There's a lot of really neat ways that animals have dealt with the world. Isn't that neat? Brew's awesome. Follow Brew. Follow our friends here. Holy cow, we're hitting a goal, man. You guys are rocking. Uric acid is my enemy. Oh, you got the gout, do you? The gout or stones? Oh, yeah. Uric acid can really get you, man. You got the Henry VIII. He had gout. He had it really bad, really, really bad. I saw a treatment the other day. Holy cow! We hit a goal. Hey, Meganot. I saw somebody the other day. Speaking of gout, is that what you have? So if I'm wild, just pee on myself, it'll help. But there's a treatment. This is an old treatment too, and they still do it for gout. I don't recommend it. They just beat the hell out of you with a stone like mallet. They'll beat the gout out of you, beat those crystals right out of you. It's brutal, man. It's a Samoan thing and Tongan thing. In Polynesia, they have a very high incident. They get a lot of people there will get gout, and when they get it, they'll roll it out with these stone like mallets. It's almost like a what do you use those things to get dough? You flatten dough out. What do you call those? A rolling pin. But it's like a stone rolling pin, and they'll beat the gout crystals right out of you. There, I roll it out. It's really brutal looking. Look it up. It's brutal, man. Could you imagine that? Somebody's rolling that gout. Yeah, a rolling pin. Can you imagine? Hey, Eric, thanks for liking. Oh, Megan, you are unbelievable. I got the hiccups, I think. Yeah, you guys are unreal. I'm just glad to see you. I'm glad we're back here. I really had fun over on YouTube, though, and we're going to be over there too. In fact, we got some of our friends watching from over there, and I'm really excited. Say hello. Sorry, sometimes I'm just going to call you all Creature Preacher Posse, if that's all right. Creature Preacher Posse is about to use this, and for me to call you, so and to keep up. But we are going to be streaming here, there, and everywhere, and having fun. I had fun today building some content and making some content. So tomorrow I'm doing the same thing. It's going to be cold. We're looking at some snow here. You believe that? Snow. We got a story coming your way because you guys are unbelievable. My likers, you guys are almost at 100K. If we hit 100K, that means we get another story as well. But if you can please do. If you can share, that's another way that can help. I'm going to read. You made some stickers, Brew? I love it. Just beat me regardless, Rachel. It's fun freezing here. I'm telling you, I'll switch you. Is it cold? What's your weather like? It's cold here too. Probably less painful than the gout. Oh man, can't imagine that. Oh, brutal. It's snowing here. Oh wow. Come to Ohio. Hey Jay, I'm coming to Ohio, buddy. I'm kind of worried about the trip. I have to come this weekend. So this weekend we're going to be heading that way. So I'll be in Ohio and Chicago. And so we're going one place for a few days and the other for a few days. And I don't really want to, but we have to. We've got to go and do some stuff, so I'm not looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing my friends, but I'm not looking forward to the drive. More than anything, I don't mind the cold. I just don't have the greatest tires, and I'm just worried about that. Like they're not. I definitely get a lot more wear out of them. I wouldn't hear like the treads or anything like that. But for going into snow, probably not good enough. I'm just like, I'd like to take Shelly's car, but we have to take the truck because I got to get all that stuff. So we're just going to go slow. We're going to go easy. We're going to take our time. And I'll drive. just go real nice and slow and easy. We'll get it done. But we got to get some. We have very little furniture that we kept, and very few things. We got to go pick it up and get it out of there. So it's supposed to snow here tonight. Haven't had snow in 10 years. Get out of Dodge. You had 8 inches of snow in Arkansas. Did you really, Edmundo? Get out, man. We had flurries, but none stuck. Hey, memes, thank you for liking down there. You're amazing. Be careful, Chicago. Well, we won't be right in Chicago. We're going to be out on the outskirts. Shelley's grandma lives in a different, it's like Sycamore or something like that, I think. I can't remember the exact little city. I think it might be Sycamore, but so I just say Chicago because it's close enough. But the good thing is we'll get some good Chicago food from over there. Chicago food. That's one thing about Chicago, man. The food is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So good. But we're going to hop up and tell a story in just a second. You're going to freeze your turkey off. Oh, yeah. You got 4 kitties around you. No snow here, but very cold. You're in Nova Scotia, are you? Tam's probably pretty daggum chilly there, eh? Probably, definitely. Memes, thank you so much for my likers down there. Pizza, don't say that too loud. Shelly will hear that. She'll wake up and come out and get it. Got to get some gyro. Oh, yeah. Gyro. Oh, you guys are unbelievable. Thank you so much for liking. Guys, as always, our likers, they're also our producers here. So thank you, producers. I see you, Medic, down there liking. I see you guys. I see you, Eric, my amazing friends. So thank you for producing this next story. And thank you, friends, for our gifters that produce the next story. I really do appreciate it. Yeah. The question is, what type of story are we going to hop into for our first one? Are we going to hop into a terrifying story? Or are we going to hop into a happy story? It's up to you. You guys have the power here, and you get to choose before the story even begins what genre you kind of like. You want horror or do you want happy? We can do other things, and we need to get back into, we're going to have votes on exploring the other genre types, Western, whatever. We're going to have a vote thing coming up. But for the time being, reset your live goal. Holy cow, I forgot. It's so weird. Everything's changed over here, Christopher. You're unbelievable. Holy cow, brother. Thank you, Christopher. James, thank you so much. Toasted. Johnny, you guys are unbelievable. Brew. And Greg, I see you, Greg. I'm sorry I missed you, brother. You guys, please follow our producers here. They're absolutely amazing. Follow and become family, you know. You have no idea how much fun we have. I've got to vacation with some of you guys. I've had you come over. I've been over to your places. We'd really hope that you would give us a follow and maybe even subscribe to this wacky community of ours. We've had a lot of fun over the years. We really have. We've had a lot of friends come. We've had a lot of friends go, but we really appreciate you being here with us right now. At the end of the day, the greatest gift you're ever going to have, Brew, you know what it is. It's time. We don't know how much of it we have. We have a fixed amount. And the fact that night after night our friends choose to spend their time here with us makes me just feel so good. And to know that we have a community here that's been built brick by brick, and you're the bricks. So thank you. I don't want you to ever feel as if you're obligated to do anything but be a part of this community. But for the friends that do support us in various ways, we could not, quite literally could not sustain this community without you and your contributions. So thank you for that. Ever since, even before the band, things have been a little bit weird over here. So we're going to try to get on a regular schedule for you guys. And I hope I don't burn you guys out. But I think the greatest, and it's for me, the greatest I've done and the greatest fun that I've had with this community is when I was doing it every day. And I would work out every day. I would do everything I could to fill the time because it was like Christmas waiting to see you guys. Like I couldn't wait to see my friends. So we are going to be here tomorrow too. We did tour with the idea of doing kind of abbreviated nights, maybe 3 or 4 hours instead of 6 or 7 hour marathons. But we'll most likely do from 9 till 12 or 1, and then we'll do the same thing the rest of the week. And as always, if we hit our goals and we're able to this week, we'll do something special with you guys. This week it's traveling, but we'll do a special live wherever we go if we and do something. So we just really appreciate you being here and being a part of this community and making it special. I still have people all the time talk about you. Some content creators that have 2-3 million, and they'll come in and be like, you have the greatest community. And I'm like, they're just fantastic. Thank you, moderators, who keep it safe around here and keep it fun and lively. Thank you for keeping this a place. We don't argue with each other. You know, we do get people that sometimes want to come in and be mean, but that's okay. It's okay. Because I can be pretty mean too. I don't have to. I got moderators. They get them out of here. But we want even the people that are being mean to know they're loved, and they can come back and try again maybe. But we're gonna hop into another story, and we're gonna do a vote right now to see if it's gonna be a scary story. It's so weird. I got this mirror thing on, so I can't really tell. Like, I go to touch my mustache, I'm not used to it. It feels weird, and I'm seeing a different side of my nose. The side I don't like seeing, the broke side. Hey, Wise Up Trey, what do you say? Memes Against Humanity, you've been amazing tonight liking. You know, I can't tell you how much my likers are dedicated likers. You used to get us in the rankings all the time. We used to have nights where we had 1 million likes because we had a group of people that they took it upon themselves and they said, I'm going to lead the like brigade. They'd come in here every night. They found that was their way. And I sure loved them. And I'd love to have some more of the like brigade. And I'm so grateful. Memes, I see you down there kicking butt. Thank you. Edmundo, I see you down there liking. But don't ever feel like your likes aren't cared for, because you're the mitochondria, you're the DNA of this place. You're the one, the powerhouses. You know, you making noise, our friends Gipton, those commenting and sharing, all the noise you make are the reason that anybody comes in this room, because we're kind of a dead room most of the time. Yeah, you know, I talk about stuff sometimes to get myself in trouble. Wise Up Trey, thank you so much. I'm perpetually in a shadow banana. But that's all right, I'm used to that. You guys make enough noise to break through that sometimes. Rachel, thank you for liking. Ash, thank you. But we're going to vote right now, and we're going to see whether whoever gets this story is going to live through it or not. I don't know. Only you know. And it's up to you guys. All right, quick poll here. If you would like to have a story where somebody lives through the story, vote for the little smiling face. But if you want something with a little bit of bite, maybe a saber-toothed cat or the Giants or something like that, then you vote for the little crying guy. But we can do anything you want. We can do a story about a soda pop that takes your life. I don't know. I'm looking at a Coke can. It's looking pretty scary right now. Looking like it wants to hurt me. You guys have the greatest ideas for the stories around here. So after the vote, and it's not looking pretty, after the vote, I'm going to hop up. And I want to see from you guys. You guys got any ideas over there? Is it my friends? Hey, Sean, hope you're doing good. Yeah, we're going to start streaming all over the place. And look forward to, we're going to add some other places this week too. I got to save up to get a phone to do it. I have to save up. So we'll do another Killer Sea Monkeys, Duck Diver. I dig it. You know what? Duck Diver and a Killer Unicorn. You guys got some heck'em good ideas. I really do like that. Sea monkeys. You guys remember that. I'm really glad that you remember that. Do you know that let's talk about sea monkeys for just a minute, huh? I see you, buddy. Sea monkeys. Hey, Fred Basket. I love you, man. Zombie kangaroos in the outback. Now, that's another daggum good idea. So, sea monkeys were sold for a very long time, and there's different things. Some people call sea monkeys other things. There's brine shrimp, and then there's other things that are sold. Very similar idea. And the reason that they were sold were scientists would sell these things, and they're very easy to take care of, very easy to grow. I can't get that one little hair because I got it mirrored now, and I can't figure out how to touch my face. So weird. There we go. Sorry. I got to get used to that. But you can still buy these to this day. You can order them from catalogs. You can order them online. You can get sea monkeys, and they're really interesting. You get a pack. You put the water. You have to make sure that there's enough salt in the water. They add a little salt packet to the water many times. Some of these are freshwater organisms, and some are salt. But the sea monkeys were brine shrimp ordinarily. You needed pH balance. You need to have the right salt amount. So they'd add all those things together. You put them in, and after a very short time, they hatch. And there's a reason. These are called extremophiles. These are animals that can survive desiccation. They live in ethereal pools that dry up frequently. So sometimes there's water, sometimes there's no water in certain situations with these critters. So when there's no water, they can sustain themselves for a very long time in their eggs. They can stay dried up for years, in some cases even longer than that. And some species for decades, maybe even a lot longer. So really, really cool. I like the idea of killer sea monkeys, and let's do that. Let's do that. Oh man, now all I need is a victim. I lost a ball. I need to charge a ball. There's a red ball. All right, now let's. This is getting a little bright in the eyeball too. In the eyeball. Oh, I like it. All right. Who's here that can choose for me? Mima? Did I see Mima? I'm gonna let Mima wait for the. I'm gonna let Mima pick the next good one. How's that? Christopher, would you mind picking? Did I already ask? If you wouldn't mind, I'd love to have you pick for me. I really would. If you could pick one of our friends, 100K, that means another story for you guys. You think Mima? Oh, did Mima go to bed? Okay, that's okay. Christopher, if you don't mind picking one of our friends, unfortunately, this story did not go your way. So somebody's going to have to face off with something terrible. Oh, God, this is going to be really bad. So after a certain time, it's 11 o'clock, so we're going PG-14 on this one. If you're listening, you got little kids listening, they might not like this one. This one might be a little scary for them, just a little bit. So if I were you, I would definitely no kiddo on this one. No, you can do whatever you want. It won't be that bad. I'll keep it under rated R. You guys do me a favor and share, like. I bet you we can get 100 friends in here if you guys do that. If everybody just fills up that little bar a couple times during the story, we'll have 100 friends in here and we'll break through. Where are my new folks? Show me some purple hearts. I appreciate that. Hey, Brew, thank you, Jay. You're the best. Jay, you probably shared 1,000 times tonight. Hey, Wise Up. Hey, Brew. You guys are the best. Wise Up. Thank you. My like brigade, man. Preacher Posse is strong. We got a strong like brigade tonight. Look at that. Where are my new folks? If you got some purple hearts, let's see some purple hearts. Whoever puts purple hearts, he's going to pick one of you for a story. You're not going to like the outcome of this one unless our friends decide to save you. And I'm not sure they're going to. They're pretty macabre. I like that. All right. We got Armando. I see a couple of hearts. Come on, guys. Throw some hearts down. You can come in. I should hop off too. I was dozing off while waiting for my phone to charge. I'm sorry, Jay. Hey, Jay. Jay Smooth's getting tired. It is. I understand that. Hey, Wise Up. Hey, Armando. Omega Nard. Wise Up, Trey. Awesome. Wise Up, Trey. Come on down, buddy. Where did I just put that controller? Did I lose it? Did I lose it? Well, Trey, you give me just a moment. I had a controller in my hand and I was playing with it, and then I put it down. I'm not sure where I put it. Probably in plain sight. We have a poltergeist? Is it in my pocket? What in the world? All right, guys, these are the technical difficulties of actual reality television or reality show. I just touched a controller. What did you do with it? Uncle Yube, you did this. You got it, don't you? You did it. All right, which one of you got it? Or was it Becky, the damn gremlins? But seriously, this is weird. I know Shelly didn't come in and take it. Oh, there it is. Damn gremlins. All right. Sorry, Uncle Yube. You're new around here, so I had to blame you, you know? I figured it was the new guy. Don't tell him I said that. I was kidding. All right. Hey, Omega Nauts here. What do you say, Phil? See? You guys like and brought everybody in. All right, Trey, let's see you. Let's get you set up here for a story. Oh, Trey. Make sure I give you a follow back. Just a goofy, chasing his dreams. I love it. Motivational speaker, comedian. Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm glad you're here, friend. And thank you so much for helping us out and liking and being absolutely amazing tonight. This story's going to have a bit of a darker turn, so I do apologize in advance. You seem like a really nice person. I wouldn't have done this to you. I would have saved you, but my people, man, they're macabre. So, without further ado, people are hard to buy presents for, aren't they, Trey? especially your own kids as they get older. You never really know what to get them. Luckily, he knew his kids loved science projects. They were wonderful science. He had done a quail egg science thing for them before. They bought a little kit from a magazine. It came with quail eggs that you could send off for. The kids loved that. They were pretty responsible with stuff. So it was an ant farm was the next gift. He'd been wondering what he could get them next, something that would teach them about the world and nature. They loved the ant farm. They sent off for the ants, and when they came back, they were so impressed. The kids would sit there for hours watching as the little ants dug and tunneled in their own ant farm. When he found the new sea monkeys, they were called, he had to go for it. He had never seen this type. When he was young, the sea monkeys were tiny little things, cute little things. Now they put the package out, the sea monkey package with a little monkey-like guy with antennas on it, but they looked nothing like that. They were tiny little brine shrimp, and he remembers feeling awfully let down by his when he was a kid. But these promised to be something different, he was told. They're rare, a rare organism that only show up every once in a while out in the Arizona desert. They're actually bred in a lab, or they're bred in captivity. The man that had found them had made them just for the pet trade. He has a proprietary license for them. Evidently, it was all very scientific, but he bought himself one and figured the kids would absolutely love him. He sent off for them, and it took nearly 3 weeks for them to arrive. It was hard keeping the kids away from the mail, but he was able to keep them away long enough that he got the package in. He would give it to them on their birthday, twins. He was excited for it. He bought 2, knowing that they both should have one. And the day of the birthday, they were so excited to open their presents. When they saw what it was, they oohed and awed. They had heard about him on the news and on TV and on the TikTok shop. All over they had heard about him. They just had to get him. And he felt like a phenomenal daddy. Got them exactly what they wanted. He told them very sternly, you listen, you wait for me. I know you guys can do it on your own, but you wait for me. These, I've been told, are very temperamental. We have to check the pH balance. We need to give them the exact right conditions or they won't flourish. But if they do, they'll live for a very long time. They'll even have babies, I've been told. They're perpetual. Isn't that something, kids? That night they sat around after supper, the living room, the light high above illuminating them. A large wooden table with 6 chairs, but it was stripped bare of everything except for plastic. They didn't want to get it wet, so they came in, getting their distilled water and all the things that the kit told them that they would need. And the father told them a little bit about triops. Evidently, these triops, when they die, they have young right before they die. And they split off like an amoeba of each other. So essentially, each one that dies ushers in its own replica. Perpetual triops. That's what they're being hailed as. Now, we all know that's not very true. After a while, they all die off. But it's extraordinarily a long time, and it seems as if they live forever because of that. They only have 2 or 3 life cycle changes in them, of course. And then they're gone. It's all clear in the paperwork from what our friend reads. Trey reads it all off to the kids, and they go through it all one by one, taking beakers and drops of distilled water and putting it in. The containers that the triops are in are very interesting. The triop itself is a strange critter, the father says, showing them the pictures. They're very, very small ordinarily, but these ones will get a little bit bigger. They're called triops, but they look like little horseshoe crabs mated with shrimp. They're very shrimp-like in some ways, but alien-like in others. Their heads so big in relation to their little wiggling bodies. And at the very end, there's 2 tails. They're Strange critters, extraordinarily adapted to the desert. They can go without water for years, and when water finally does fall in the desert, they come out of nowhere. But these perpetual triops, we'll just have to see, Trey said to his children. They put the water in, drop by drop. They put the small, dried out eggs of the triops in the bottom. Come to find out, kids, these aren't even eggs. These are the adults dried out. The entire creature is dried, so dry that it appears dead to you and I, but they say with water and the minerals, they'll come right back to life. They got really close to the containers that they were in, small, sealed containers, except for the small dropper of water. And they watched. They dropped water on the little critters, bit by bit. It just changes their color. They just look wet now, but they're not moving, Daddy, they said. They watched for a while, studying, looking closely. Nothing. 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, nothing. And he began to think that it was a dud. It wasn't going to work at all. He had prepared the children for this, telling them that it might be possible that it doesn't work at all. Daddy, we did everything that you said. Daddy! It's not my fault. I think it's the fault with them. He couldn't admit if he was wrong. He never could. He looked at it. Hey, wise up. He looked at him and said, well, why don't we give it till morning and see what happens? We'll just go to bed. And that's exactly what they did. They went to bed. Unfortunately, they missed the fun. The small, wriggling bodies, after a time of being dormant, began to awaken. They explored the confines of their small container. They did not like it. They did not find it appropriate. The small mouthparts, ordinarily used for the very specific purpose of cleaning algae off of rocks and filtering through the detritus on the bottom of those pools of water. But these had been changed, genetically engineered. They had been genetically engineered to eat just about anything. In fact, they've been genetically engineered to clean up oil spills, to clean up. Trey had made one glaring mistake. He had been sent glass, but he was afraid that his children would drop the glass that these were supposed to live in. So he used an old plastic aquarium that he had a betta fish in. It'll be fine, he thought. He was wondering as he went to bed if that's why they didn't work, if that's why they didn't hatch because of that. Surely not, he thought, as he brushed his teeth and he got ready for bed. He went to bed after checking on the children. He read them a bedtime story. They were only 10. He read them their bedtime story and went to bed, turning on their favorite nightlight, a small globe by the bed. They asked him on the way out if he would keep the door open, and he always responded with yes, because he did it every night. It was their ritual. Daddy, will you keep the door open? Daddy, will you keep the light on? Yes, I will. Yes, I will. After a series of I love yous and sleep tight, he cracked the door exactly as he ordinarily did, brushed his teeth and went to bed. He was fast asleep when the triops broke free. They chewed their way right through the plastic container, and they were off. They could eat many different things, but they needed something. They needed one very specific thing. They needed blood and a host. They were parasitic triops. You see, when he had designed them, he designed them with a type of flatworm. The flatworm breaks off a portion of its body, a blastocyte. That's how it replicates. That's how these small critters would replicate. All he did is some clever gene editing. He cut a few strands here, added a few here. They're very simple organisms, the flatworm. The flatworm, though, with the triop, oh God, what has he done? The triop gained the parasitic nature of that particular flatworm. It needed a host and a blood meal. The triops honed in on the carbon dioxide that the human beings breathe and all living animals that respirate breathe. They quickly found what they were after. They were small, less than an inch and a half long, but they were fast. They could live in water or outside of water. They were extreme to the max. They made a cockroach, it seemed like a real baby. They traveled to the doorway. Trey lived upstairs, the children down. They quickly slipped underneath the door, creeping to the bedpost. They used their small limbs to wriggle up the bedpost, and they were under the blankets with them. Ah! The scream. It woke him up. He was fast asleep. He was a single dad. He never slept sound. He always was waiting. If they called, he'd be there. The scream horrified him. It wasn't like a bad dream scream. It wasn't like a boogeyman in the closet scream. It was like I'm hurt, Dad scream. He got out of the bed so fast he knocked over the water on the night table. He slipped on it, fell, hit his head hard, saw stars. I'm coming! He fell again in his haste, but finally he was up running for the room. Both of the kids were sitting up in bed, sitting up, just staring. He didn't know what was wrong. He didn't know which one of them had screamed. Had they both screamed? What's wrong? He turned on the light. They blinked, but they did not answer him. What's wrong? He yelled, but nothing. No answer at all. And then finally, almost as one, they turned. They still didn't say anything to him, and the hair on the back of his neck went up. It was strange. They had always had a very close connection. They always had a very close connection. But this harmony was so alien. Both of their little heads moved, looked back at him. We're fine, Daddy, they said as one, and they laid back down. He came into the room. Did you have a bad dream, kids? Was it a bad dream, you rock paddle? Was it a bad dream? Yes, Daddy, they said, once again in harmony. And he was frightened. He would talk with them in the morning about it. If he had noticed the small trickle of blood running down both of their ear canals, he would have taken them to the hospital that night. But it's such a small thing, so easy to miss. So he went back to bed, certain that they were okay. They waited for him to fall asleep, and then they got up together as one. Sitting up in bed, they looked at each other, and then got up. They walked into the kitchen in perfect harmony, shoulder to shoulder, touching the entire time. They knew exactly where to go. They walked in mechanically. Even backing up seemed very strange. They walked over to the kitchen drawer that they were after, opening it up without even looking down. They grabbed what they liked, and they walked upstairs, slowly, shoulder to shoulder. They came to their daddy's room, and they reached out and opened the door together, slowly pushing it out with their forearms. They walked in, and one went to one side of Trey's bed, and the other to the other, where they waited. They looked at each other for a moment. They were listening to his breathing. They were listening to him sleep. The hands came up, came down, up, down, in unison. He thrashed and moaned for a moment, but the two long butcher's knives did their work quickly. The Triops inside had found the perfect host, young and strong. They could grow inside together. They had much to learn about being a person and fitting in, but there was a start. They knew what they had to do next. Sorry, guys. I hope you enjoyed that very macabre story. I do apologize for that. You voted for scary, though, and it is late. So hopefully we'll get a happy story next. Hopefully we'll get a happy one next. We'll see how that goes. I do want to tell you about very real animals, the Triops. I absolutely love Triops. They're fantastic. If you guys enjoy story time, please let me know if you enjoy that story. And we do have our board that Shelly put together for me. If you guys did enjoy it and you wanted to throw a few coins in a Busker's bucket, there's all the places you can do that. We really do appreciate you. You don't have to give anything at all. You know that. We really do appreciate that. This is always going to be, we always said that if we do a show, radio, whatever we do, we want it to be free, no matter what. And because when I was a child, I didn't have anything. And for me, talk radio was like the biggest comfort in my life. I was very lonely, very scared kid a lot of times. And having the talk radio in the background and listening to radio, it was like the greatest. So if I didn't have that, I don't know what I would have done. Hey, Fraggle, what do you say? I don't get why I can't recharge. I'm so sorry, sir. It's something going on with Uncle TikTok right now, and I understand that. I really do. I know if you guys all could, you all would. But something funky's going on with Uncle TikTok, and somebody said it has to do with Apple, something like that. Rachel, thank you so much. Somebody said it has something to do with Apple. I don't know. But Gulf Coast, thank you, brother. I hope they fix it soon, too. We really do. But we'll be okay. Thank you, Gulf. Love you, buddy. We'll be all right. But thank you guys so much for contributing how you do. We do have a podcast. I've always said I don't want anything for nothing. That's why we don't battle. You know, like, I feel like battling is you're not really able, nothing against my friends that do a lot of battling. I love you guys. Please don't think I'm saying that you shouldn't or anything. It's just, I always wanted to have something, you know. So we do have a podcast. If you wanted to support us, that's a great way over on Patreon. It's like $2.99. And we lowered it to $2.99 so people would have access, but I only have one episode right now. But we're working on the second, and it's going to be a thing now. I hope to be a podcaster, and it'd be really cool if we could do that. So we'd be able to hit our goals if we could do that. But thank you for the roses, Jay. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. But if you guys want to hear a really cool podcast, you can go over there and support us at the same time. You love it, Wise Up, Trey. I'm glad you did. That's what matters. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. You know, like I want you guys to have a place where you can come in and forget about the day. Maybe you're having a bad day, and I can make it worse. You can get eaten by something or get probed. Or I can make it better because for just a little bit you forget about the probing that you've already had because you've had a probing kind of day. Well, you know what I mean? This day's really probed the heck out of me. Yeah, so I know what that's like. We've been having a lot of those lately too. So, yeah, I know. Yeah. Gulf Coast, I love you, buddy. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the story. 1K, you're amazing shares. Our friend shared 1,000 freaking times. I think you just set a record. Jay, I'm pretty sure you just set a record. I don't think anybody's ever done it that much. You want Happy Fragile and the unicorns? We can do that too. We definitely. I love happy stories too, man. Don't get me wrong. Me love some happy stories. I like taking scary things and making them happy, and I like taking, the other way around, happy things and making them scary. That's always fun to do. I like anti-heroes. We like funny stories. We do a little bit of everything. We have fun with it. But we are going to be here Monday through Friday. All right. So I want you guys to know, don't get your fill all at once here. We're gonna be back tomorrow and the next day and the day after that. And no matter what it takes, we're going to stick here together. And thank you very much, Uncle Yube. Sorry, guys, I keep pulling one over. Shelly, my lovely wife, is letting me borrow her phone. So I'll show you that. That's what you're looking at over here. And then when I'm done, I have to bring her phone in so she can hear the alarm to get up in the morning for her work. So we share everything. So she's so sweet. So we hope to have it set up here eventually. I'm just going to take it, I'm going to believe that TikTok's going to be here for forever. Um, I really do believe that. They're going to work something out. So, at any rate, we'd like to have it to where we're streaming from here, there, and all of our other socials, so we can connect all of you guys in one place until we figure out, something better. I think that's the best way. Um, I've been toying with the idea of a radio program, so I don't know. We would still do the TikTok, of course, it would still, all of our socials would still film the radio, but it would be like a radio program, but all that's filming what we're doing with that. But I've always wanted a call-in program where you guys could call in, or we could do a real talk radio, like the kind that I like as a kid. One night we discuss serial killers, we talk about crazy serial killers, just random, another night we have cryptids, another night we talk about whatever's going on with the nation, or this or that, or weird news, or wild news. So a little bit of everything, just a good radio program with some music involved, I think it'd be nice. I'd definitely tune in. I'd love that. I'd love that. I really would. But ultimately, our plan has always been our television show, so we need to get in a way. In fact, I got some good news. If I could share it with you guys, I will right now. So tomorrow I'm talking with a man. Many of you know that I was approached by Netflix. This was years and years ago, and we were going to do a pilot. We still are. We filmed a lot of it. We have a lot yet to film, but we hit roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, it seemed, with it. We have enough footage right now to put out, if I can get it edited, I think, to be passable. But tomorrow I'm talking with somebody that owns a studio, and I'm really excited for that conversation, because it would be something that, if this all works out, that it would put our dream right where it needs to be, like maybe even better than before. So my dream has always been a television program, an animal program. And I know that I don't get to really share that the way I like, but I love animals so much, and I love people. And the dream, when Netflix approached me, was for a pilot episode that would work on those two things that I love the most. That it would connect people to nature, unlike, the way that I wanted to. So tomorrow, I can't talk too much until I talk with our friend tomorrow, but maybe tomorrow I'll have a really neat thing to tell you guys. I don't know how everything goes. If so, then we'll move into the phase of actually putting everything together, like really ramping it up. So I'm excited. You guys that are praying sorts, pray for that. Vibing sorts. We're running out of time. We really are starting to run out of time. Not with me, even though I'm getting old, but we're running out of time with a lot of these animals that I love. And got to get going on this. But yeah, it is pretty cool. So I know I told you a whole bunch of nothing, but the gentleman owns a production company. He has made some really neat movies and shows and done a lot of different things. But if everything works out, we might be able to start actually shooting. It would be almost exactly what we had planned before. The only difference would be the characters in this. We still are going to have Fish and Garrett involved, and still going to have David Shealy, but maybe we'll have a few other people that I hadn't anticipated involved. It would be really good. But essentially the plot for story for the show is not just showing you the nature, which is important, but the history, the stories of the people involved. It's going to blend nature and wildlife with cryptozoology and food and travel and fun. Real adventure program. I always have said kind of Steve Irwin with a little bit of Indiana Jones and some X-Files and some Andrew Zimmern. It's got a little bit of all the things that I love, the idea. So we're going to talk about those things tomorrow, and the only difference would be is that some more of it would be shot inside. So before, I hadn't planned on that. So like Jeremy Wade, how Jeremy Wade's show does? He does a lot of it outside, but there's also a lot of reenactments and things. So that would be something that would be available to us if everything works out. We'd have a studio, an actual studio that we could go in and we could film in the wild, but we could also film reenactments, and we could go in and have the digital help that we need and the editing help that we need. So it would be really freaking cool. But I talked with actually two people. So one of the people I'm going to talk with tomorrow at 4, but the one that I'm really excited about, I talked to that person just a few minutes before. It's just so weird how things turn out. But we'll find out more tomorrow. Jay, thanks for sharing again. You're so awesome. Let's do it. We got another story coming your way because you guys, my likers, kicked up a notch and rocked out. We're at 126 because of our amazing friend. Hey, Smokey Bear, I like your name. Smokey Bear Bass Fishing. I love to fish. Yeah, so the best is yet to come. And Christopher, as I've said, you're going to end up producer. So I'm serious about that. You produced so much and done so much for us here. But we'll see how it goes tomorrow. The radio idea, I still really like that. We got so many different things in the fire, but I've been on the radio before. I really enjoyed it. And I think we'd host a pretty fun program for you guys. And we could talk about all the weird stuff that I like to talk about in one place. It's hard to shut the radio down too. Although I wonder, Christopher, I'm not sure about some of the scary stories, how they would do with on the radio. I never really thought of that. My style of storytelling might be a little much for a radio. I don't curse a lot. I don't do a lot of that though, and I don't really get do I get too blood and guts? I mean, it's pretty bad, but is it too bad for radio? I've heard some radio songs and stuff that are just horrible. Like, so maybe it is. Seriously, what do you guys think? Would that be too R for radio? Mimo and the Dust Bunnies, I like it. No, is it great? You think it would be too much? It might be, man. Gulf Coast, I see you liking down there, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you. You don't think it would be? Okay. That's good to know. All right, so we need to have another vote. We're going to tell one more story, I think, then we're probably going to cut it early tonight because we got this whole week. So let's hop up and do a vote. I need to get my energy level up. I'm getting sleepy. Let's have a vote. You want a happy story or do you want a scary story? It's up to you. You can do whatever you want. You can have a happy story at the end of the night or you can have a scary story at the end of the night. Whatever you like. I'm happy to do either one. I like it. I like the scary guys. They're saying, now we want scary. All right, so I'm already thinking of some scary stuff, but I need to hear from you. You had some really good ideas earlier, too, Holy cow, my macabre crowd's like, vile, blood, scary, rip them apart. Yeah. I have a few ideas, but I think you guys are going to have some really good ones here. I really do. What do you think? I'm going to look over to Uncle Yube, too, so we're asking for scary story ideas. Hey, what do you say, David Fisher? I see you, buddy. I'm trying to do the live long and prosper, and I got the I love you instead. There you go. Poltergeist, Paddle. I like that. Poltergeist. Poltergeist. We've not done a good old-fashioned poltergeist in a while. A noisy spirit from down to Germany, right? That doesn't sound bad. Poltergeist are fun. Not. Big Dater down in Florida. What do you say, Peace? Bigfoot. Hey, Big R. I like it. The goodies are gone to bed. That's right. Any other ideas? What do you guys got something good over there? You learned something new today? That makes me happy to hear. 1234. Make a wish. My daughter, wait, what was that? My daughter said poker dice. Oh, I like it. Shark bait. That's awesome. Creepy kids. Oh, Becky, yeah. We could do a big gator in the Florida swamps. I do love a gator story. I do love a gator story. Yeah, let's do it. We've not done one in a while. I gotta remind myself where I live sometimes. Who said that idea? Peace, I like it. You don't want to hear something funny. I like I like any chance I get to kind of slip in a little bit of education medicine. But everybody's so afraid of saltwater crocodiles. Australia crocodile this, Australian crocodile this, and that. And you should be afraid of them. They're an aggressive, dangerous predator. But you want to hear something really fascinating? The American alligator kills far more people every year in America than the Australian crocodile does in Australia. The Australian crocodile lives in about 2% of Australia. American crocodile or the American alligator lives in a lot more than that. But isn't that funny? I don't know if you guys knew that or not. I think most Americans just reckon that saltwater crocodile probably just kill hundreds of Australians every year. It's only two or three. On the other hand, American alligators get 3 times that. Interesting. I like little facts like that. You know that? Meemaw's like the master goody goody vampire. When she leaves, we lose our goody goody power. You do, man. I'm telling you, you sure do. I don't know what the deal with that is. I don't know why my butt's wet. I probably shouldn't speak out loud all the time, everything I think, huh? Oh yeah, I worked out earlier. I guess that's probably what it is. I got a juicy hiney from working out. Sorry guys, I shouldn't have said that out loud. Sometimes I just speak. I forget that you're here. Why is my butt wet? That's probably not a very good thing to say. Oh man, why my butt wet? Oh, I must have been scared of something. Hey! You know, pooping on yourself is a very viable method in nature to get away. A lot of critters do it. Snakes do it. Even scary things poop on themselves to get away from being eaten. Possums do it all the time. They'll crap on themselves. Skunks, they're the ultimate crap on myself kind of guy. You know, hey! You know, don't eat me. I smell like ass. Concentrated ass smell. I'm a skunk. Well, you call that the Hershey squirts? Yes, it's a viable defense. Diarrhea from a distance. Hey! It's like mace. I wonder if mankind would ever develop like that, like a human bombardier beetle. All right. All right, so the goody goody's lost soundly, so I need something scary. I need something real scary. You want to turn into a human bombardier beetle? We could do that. Hey, Mike the gynecologist, what do you say, buddy? Hey, man, I'm glad to see you. You always make me happy to see you. Dr. Mike. He's awesome. Good to see you, brother. You might be related to the skunk. Monkeys do throw it with deadly accuracy, man. I've known some shit slingers in my day. I'm sorry to say, but you know what's even worse? We're talking about Navy men. They're also known as sea men. Monkeys throw that too. They do. Oh, they're foul brew, I'll tell you, right? If anybody's worked with monkeys here, anybody worked with monkeys? Yeah, they're foul, man. Dirty, foul critters. Like prisoners in cages. They will, I'm telling you. True story. You had a spectacled langur that used to do it all the time. I know, they're grody. Listen, I've known some monkeys that they'd get all up in a woman's hair. They'd grab a handful and footful of hair and they'd just go to town on her head. It is disgusting. Yeah. Some monkeys are really, you want to hear that? It's kind of cool too. They also use it they'll wipe it on walls and things to find their way. The bush baby and a few nocturnal monkeys will use feces and even the other stuff to mark their territory. So if you have one as a pet in your house, they'll use their own feces or their own excretions. We'll just call it that. It's a little bit better. And they'll wipe it all over the houses and stuff like that. That way at night they can smell it when they go. They don't have to use their eyes. They just kind of smell their way along. It's grody. I've known people that have bought monkeys and they didn't know that. They bought like a tarsier or something or had a bush baby and they're like, I didn't know that they smeared poop all over the walls to find their way around. Yeah, it's pretty grody. You'll have to tell me. Brew would probably tell me which one it is. Sometimes I get it mixed up. It's either the tarsier or the bush baby. It's one of those nocturnal. Maybe it's the owl monkey. I don't know. It's one of the big-eyed monkeys. They're foul little critters. But yeah, capuchin monkeys will be bad for it too. They're just real humpy. They're like a little. Hey, listen, we're just talking nature here. Dogs do it all the time, right? I mean, how many's had a dog that's humped your leg? I mean, it's kind of ew, but I mean, it happens. You know, I mean, it's kind of like they don't have shame. There, no. That's exactly what would happen to the human animal if we had no shame. Go around doing stuff like that. Yeah. So cute but nasty little buggers, exactly. Is that why customers at Burger King did it? Yeah. Swamp creature. All right, we need some scary ideas for a movie. We're going to get off topic. We're not talking about that anymore. It's grody. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I didn't mean to, but sometimes I have my filter my nerd filter takes over, you know, and I start just talking science and facts and neat stuff. Neat, weird. Cross this baby off the list. All right, so scary story ideas. I need something very, very scary. I kind of got away from it. Your daughter said I have a form of Tourette's, no filter. I hear that. I had a traumatic incident as a kid at a zoo with a monkey my dad was teasing with food. I got to hear more about that, Edmundo. Edmundo, I have a traumatic incident as a kid at a zoo with monkeys my dad was teasing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this is, like you said, traumatic. I shouldn't be laughing. I really shouldn't. I'm trying really hard not to. What did it do to you? What did the little dirty bastard do to you, Edmundo? Is it bad? Is it really, really bad? Because I won't ask. But it wasn't okay. It wasn't that bad. He didn't hold you down or anything, did he? Monkeying around. Mm. He played Father McConnell with your tuchus or something, you know. Ah! Don't touch that. It's not a pillow. I'm laughing so hard. Sorry about that. I can't with that face, right? I tried. I tried so hard. Lost in the woods there. You don't know how you got there. Now that would be good. Man is teleported to ancient Rome and has to fight beasts on the Colosseum. You know what? I like that, Jalen. I do really, really dig that. A bestiary. Guys, I've studied all the different Roman types. Marmeros, the bestiari, there's a lot of different, there's so many. And I could nerd out for hours on Rome, so I like it. Anybody want to go to Rome with me? Yeah, it's gonna be fun. You're not gonna live. You're gonna get ripped apart by wild beasts or something like that. Maybe even worse in Rome. You never know. But maybe you'll get a taste of glory before you go. I think we should let them die a heroic death. What do you think? A heroic death in Rome? That's all we could ask for, isn't it? I think I would have liked it until I actually got in the Colosseum. I was like, no, I don't like this. All right. I need a victim here. I need somebody brave enough and strong enough to face Rome, or Gaul, or Germania, or any of the other provinces. So, the Heracleum. Why don't we pick one of our friends? Jalen, I really do like that idea. How are we going to get us there? I wonder. Oh, yes. I understand now. I got it. All right, let's see. Jalen, you're absolutely amazing, by the way. You know, for a moment there, we nearly had 100 friends again. If you guys could share, like, I promise some of our friends will come in. If you can, it would really, really help us out. I would appreciate it. You don't have to do anything here, though, but those are some of the ways. Uncle TikTok and Uncle Yube have all determined the same thing, that interaction is anytime you guys touch the screen. So fondle that screen if you can. If you enjoy the story time, it doesn't cost anything for you to touch the screen, and it helps us out. I do it for you. Just kidding. You guys don't have to do anything. A lot of you like to fall asleep to me. I don't know how, because I scream all the time. You're welcome to do that too. While you wake up, maybe while you go to shuffle into the bathroom and have a little pee-peep and a poop-poop, just tap the screen a few times while you do it. Yeah. We have 1,000 shares, Fraggle. Thanks to Jay, too. Jay has been ripping on those shares. Holy cow, unbelievable, Jay. Jay has made it her mission tonight to rip those shares. I've never seen anything like it. Jay, you're unbelievable. Big Red, I'm back. Had to scan my defibrillator. Oh, God, no. So I could send the information. Big, I didn't know you had that stuff. Oh, Lord. Hey, Lot Lizard, I like that name. Oh, Lot Lizard. You tell a story about a lot lizard one day. A vampire lot lizard. You say Meemaw's asleep, right? All right, we'll use her for that story. I'm just teasing. Just checking to see if she's here. Sometimes she pretends she's asleep, but she's really listening. She's over there probably listening. All right, so we need one of our friends. Who hasn't picked tonight? Which one of my amazing mods has not picked? Can one of you tell me who hasn't picked? You fall asleep, Rachel? I love it. But who hasn't had a pick? Sparky, thank you so much for sharing. You amazing friend, you. Hey, Big R, you haven't had a pick, Fraggle? All right, would you pick for us, please? We're gonna pick and have one more story. Lot lizards are not what you think. Yeah, they're women of the night, aren't they? They like to go and knock on doors and offer their services. Not the kind of lizards I like to chase in the keys. Oh. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Cooper P, what do you say? That would be sick. Hey, Hot Pink. Nasty, yeah. Toaster Johnny. I've seen some of them on pictures and stuff walking up to those trucks. You want to have a date? No! Please, God, no! Why is that one hair just like sticking down like Eddie Munster's haircut? All right. Do you like to be in a story? Say me. Give us a big me in the chat. One of you are going to be involved in a story. This one's not going to be pleasant, as you're going to Rome, baby. We know where you're going. You're going to Rome. Question is, how are we going to get you there? I already know. I already know how you're getting to Rome. All right, I like this one. I like the idea that I haven't had one in months. Uh-oh, Missy, hey, Missy. Hey, Philly's finest, thanks for liking down there. Big R, you absolutely amazing friend, you. That's why we're going to get 100 friends in here, because of you ripping those likes. Hey, Wade, I appreciate you. Wade's here, friend. Say hello to Wade. Me, Edmundo says, that's how you got to do it. You gotta make some noise, be a squeaking wheel. Nailed, Wade, Hot Pink Girl. Look at you guys, join my team, man. We're rocking and rolling now. We'll get 90 people in here. 10 seconds flat. I bet you we will. You guys keep ripping those likes. And you too. You guys can, I don't know if you can do anything over there, but you just sit back and relax. But if you could, I know you would, because you're amazing. All right. Now, thank you. Who did the heart me? Who was that? Lot Lizard. Thank you, friend. Hey, Duck Diver, thanks for liking down there. I really appreciate it. I see those likes coming, man. Those likes are awesome. Thank you so much. Hey, Volunteer Edmundo. Oh, I like that. I like when you guys look out for each other. Edmundo Correa. I love it. Edmundo, come on down. There's a very special, hey Mary, thank you. There's a very special reason, look at that, climbing up to 84. We'll get there, we'll get there. There's a very special reason that we got, I'm glad we got Edmundo. We're gonna need a warrior. Edmundo he had won his last 4 fights. He was on a hot streak. In fact, the only time he ever lost it was to disqualification. He's a mixed martial arts fighter and a damn good one. He had been fighting ever since he was a kid, kind of on the streets, but when he had found somebody who had a little bit of trust in him, put a little bit of faith in him, gave him an opportunity to start boxing at a gym and then working wrestling and jiu-jitsu, they realized that Edmundo Correa had a gift, a real gift. He had talent, raw and pure talent. By the time he was 16, he was in the amateurs, and by the time he was 18, he had his first pro fight. He was a hot commodity. He had just got the call up to the UFC. He had never been more excited in his life. A call up to the UFC is a call up to the big show. It's going from the amateur leagues right on up to the NFL, the NBA, the big leagues, baby, playing for the Jays or the Red Sox or the Yankees. He was excited. He was a large, strong man, 6'2", 215 pounds. He could go to light heavyweight or heavyweight. His future was looking very promising. People were excited about him as a hot and up-and-coming prospect. And he also caught the attention of some others, some old, wise beings that have lived and plagued us ever since humanity crawled out of caves. They're to some evil, to some ambivalent. They look down at our friend Edmundo, sorry. They look down at our friend Edmundo, and they thought he would be perfect. At least one did. His name was Horshack. Horshack looked at his friend, and he said, I believe this one can beat any of yours. Horshack was so certain he was willing to bet one of his wives Horshack was certain that he wouldn't lose his most beautiful wife, not to his friend Beelshar. Beelshar said that he would take that bet any day of the week, and Beelshar set his wife as collateral as well. Either one that would lose would gain a wife, and in their society, a man was judged by how many wives he had. And these were two quality wives. Beelzar and Horshack made their bet, and once they sealed their deal, our friend Edmundo was in for a wild ride. He dropped suddenly. He was at his house preparing his meals. He had had 2 workouts that day. The pain came sudden and fierce to his forehead, a blinding flash of light, and his entire body froze up, and he felt himself falling backwards. He was completely incapable of stopping himself, just like a knockout, he thought as he crashed through the table onto the floor. His body was frozen solid, the current running through him like he was being tasered. Edmundo tried to yell out, tried to scream out, but he nearly bit his tongue off, and then he saw the beings. They suddenly appeared in front of him. They were white, glowing, and terrifying, but he could see their faces underneath. He could see that they looked like him. He managed to get one word out. What? And he was gone, just like that. Gone! Ripped through space and time. He landed in something that might be familiar to a very few people. A training facility for the gladiators called a lamistra. The lamistra is the house, the gladiatorial house. Think of it like sports teams, and these sports teams are owned by the very wealthy, just like today. These sports teams buy talent. They buy the best talent wherever they can find them. Gladiators are commodities in ancient Rome. They belong to their masters, the lamistrae, the owners. The trainers of the school train them into hardened killing machines, men and women, and even some children, believe it or not, have made their way into the gladiatorial arena. Our friend finds himself in a very peculiar position. The pain that he had experienced before is still with him, but he wakes up in the middle of a villa in Rome. He's wearing a tunic. He does not know where it came from. And inside the tunic is a purse full of coins that don't belong to him, but to the owner of the villa. Ah! He hears the screams in Latin. Of course, he doesn't understand what those screams mean. And before he knows it, he's engaged in a fight with 4 or 5 retainers. He's already weak and befuddled. They beat him unconscious in a matter of moments. They deal with thieves in a very, very harsh way in Rome. Whether you're a citizen or not, a plebeian, you suffer for it. They knew exactly where to take this strapping young man, Edmundo. They took him directly to the lamistra, the closest one available, and they would sell him. They would make good money, too. Why not? He had stolen from them. They deserve something, some recompense. So, that's exactly what they did. They sold him. He fetched a very, very good price at the auction. He fetched a very good price. His condition was nearly flawless. He was in fighting condition, 6'2", 215 pounds, chiseled. He was ready for a mixed martial arts fight, but now he was in for something different, wasn't he? You guys enjoying the story so far? If so, please do like and share. I see you. We're at 76 because you guys are being amazing. Becky Ridge, I like it. Some Lions, you're worth it. Edmundo, I hear you. Fraggle, I see you down there liking. If you guys can like, if you can comment, if you could even gift and share, those are all ways you can help us out. Really, really appreciate each and every one. Back to the story. Edmundo is in shock. He thinks he's lost his mind. He has no idea what's going on. It's all as if it's a blur. In fact, it's made to be like that. He's docile right now. They're still controlling him from a distance in some ways. They do everything for a reason. But of course, to have their bet answered in full, they need to have him 100% of his own free will. As the control wears off, he begins to think that he's nuts, that he's crazy, that he's dead. He doesn't understand what's going on, but the pain is very real. Bang! The whip crashes in. As they flog him again and again. He doesn't speak any of the languages. They have spoke Galatian. They have spoke Germanic. They have spoke Goth, the Visigoth. They have spoke many different languages, even languages of Arabia and India and Greece, Sardinia, everything. But he wouldn't answer any of it. He did seem to understand some of the Middle Germans, but that was about it. He did understand the whip and the pain, and he quickly understood what was going on. It's not possible. It's not possible. It's not possible, he says to himself. But it is. This is his new life. He's taken into the training center right away, and he's put through the paces. But they quickly understand that he is for something better. With his condition, he looks like a fabled Greek Heracles or Hercules to many of us. He looks so much like Hercules to them, right down to the color of his bronze skin, his six-pack abs, that they knew that the only way to honor Hercules would be to have this man fight the Nemean lion in combat in the arena. Eric, you're amazing. The Nemean lion was a lion of myth and legend that Heracles was said to have killed in one of his trials. Barehanded, it was said. He wrestled it to death. If anybody could do it, it would be Edmundo, by the looks of him. But this is a lion we're speaking of. And of course, it's not the Nemean lion, but it's an Asiatic lion that was brought in specifically for the purpose of dying in the arena in the bestiarium. The lion is massive. They make a great point of showing Edmundo to his lion, and the lion to Edmundo. They parade him in front of it. The lion lunges. It's in a cage trying to get at him. He understands what's coming for him. He's given only a club. That's all he's given. And the very next day, he knows what's coming. He can't sleep that night. He only thinks of that lion pacing back and forth in the cage, roaring at him over and over again, carrying on. And he knew that tomorrow he would die. Edmundo had never been a coward. He was getting ready to fight a man that was ranked 5 in all the world. But this was no man, and he would not live through this. He knew that deep down in his gut. He knew that there's no way he could survive this. But he would fight, and he would not die without a fight. The next day, he heard all the hubbub of the arena. He was even able to look out and watch some of the gladiators fighting and dying in the sand. It was horrifying. They brought out chariots and horses, and the sound of horses dying and screaming was even worse somehow to him. He saw the blood, the sand stained with it. It was the color of any beach on the world before the blood. And now it looks like it's covered in rose petals, the arena floor. Clumps of it, gouts of it. He never knew a man could bleed so much. He thought, as another man was eviscerated and disemboweled in the arena to the cheering, the throng of people. He watched in horror as the lion was released into the arena. He turned at the last moment and he fought the men trying to take him out. His plan was to get a hold of one of their weapons and to cut his way free of this madhouse. But they were ready for him. With one well-placed kick, they kicked him out into the arena and they slammed the door behind him. He reached through the cage for his club, but the man refused to give him the club now after what he had done. Edmundo's horrified, but he turns immediately to run. Hey, Brew, good night. He knows that 100% knows that he can't outrun the beast, but he has a plan. If he can jump up high enough, maybe on one of those pillars, he can outclimb it. He jumps on the pillar. His training has him do hundreds and hundreds of pull-ups. He pulls himself up, and it's so easy. He's making it. He doesn't look down. He kicks up, and he reaches the very top of the pole. He'll have to balance at the very top. He thinks as he jumps up. Ah! The pain is hot and fresh. It rips into his leg. He looks down now at the lion, its eyes blood red and crazed, as it pulls him off of his perch that he thought was his safety. The beast grabs him on the ground in one massive jaw. He punches at it, tries to shove his arm in its mouth to gag it. But the lion merely shakes him like a rag doll and holds him down with its massive paws, holding him like a parent holds down an unruly child. It holds him there, and it begins to lick him. He hears soldiers pelting the lion with rocks and small javelins to make it more angry. The javelins like small darts, inflicting pain and agony. But every time the lion would growl, and it would continue with what it was doing. Before long, the emperor gave the signal to stand and watch. He wanted to see what would happen next. Edmundo began to squirm and cry, and every time he did, the lion roughed him up even more, bit down with massive teeth. He stopped. This was a nightmare, it had to be. He thought, a nightmare. It hurt so bad. The lion licked him and licked him and licked him. He felt so warm now. He didn't remember getting knocked out. That's what it feels like, he thought, to get knocked out in a title fight. So warm. He went to lift his hand to wipe the blood off the corner of his eye, but he couldn't. He didn't know why. For one moment he was afraid that he had a neck injury. But he was so warm. He was so warm. Did I win the fight? He said. Coach, did I win the fight? Sorry, Edmundo. You tried your best. You were heroic, man. You did. You fought like a lion yourself. And you lost. At the very end, as the lion licked your face quite literally off one lick at a time like a Tootsie Roll Pop. Sorry about that, guys. Let me turn the light on over here. And turn a different light on. I gotta sit down. Oh, I got to sit down. All right. There we go. Now, let's see what you thought. Selma, thank you so much. You guys are the best. Thank you, Amy Long. Thank you, Becky Ridge. Thank you, guys. Womp Womp is right. I think that means somebody told me they say that because of the Mario game, Mario Kart. We need to go start playing some Wii and stuff. I'm going to try to set up my Twitch again. We'll have some fun. I love playing Mario Kart and narrating everything I play. Yeah, it's so good. I'm good at that. Hey, Jay, Slurp is right, lot. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. So tonight's going to mark the very first of this week. So we're going to do it. We might do 4 hours tomorrow. We might do what we did tonight. We did 9. I think we might stay on a little bit yet. I don't know. I'm a little tired today, to be honest with you. Had some interesting stuff, but good stuff happened. So I also have to bear in mind we're going to be here all the rest of the week too, and I don't want to wear you guys out too much, especially my moderators. You liked it, Big R. So what do you think? I don't know if... I wanted to ask you guys seriously, how many likes does it take to get to the center of Edmundo? You're tired too, but I want to know if the story earlier, it just seemed like it didn't we had like 120 people in here, and then I started telling that long story, and everybody went away. So, well, it's not so much the tire that kind of funked me out, like a little bit, makes me feel a little funky, like maybe people didn't like it. So I don't know. What did you think? And I really, be honest, if you really liked it, let me know. If you really were like, let me know. I thought that maybe it'd be fun, but I also know there's room for improvement. Oh, with it. That's good for that. Yeah, that's good. You have a big day tomorrow. Yeah, always. You thought it was fun, Fred? Well, I'm glad to hear. Uh, you liked both? I like both too. You thought it was fun. You enjoy the stories, Big R. I'm glad you do, buddy. I'm glad you do. I'm sorry I missed it, but I love your long stories. Selma, I'm so glad too. Thank you. Well, I enjoy the choose your own adventure. I just think maybe it was a little bit easier for me to tell. I think I get a little bit more in depth and more in detail in the longer ones, like the ones that I tell you guys. I think personally, I love both, but I think with these I can really develop you a little bit more and develop the story a little bit more. Peace, you're amazing. Thank you for that. You enjoyed what I heard, but I came in late. Thank you, Edmundo. Came in right at the end of the long story. Did you, Eric? Oh man. I might come a little bit later tomorrow too. I think that a lot of times I used to go on at 2 and it really starts to ramp up for us around 1 or 2. But it's just, I didn't get a nap today. It makes a big difference. If I don't get a nap, I usually am about worthless. I couldn't get my mind to turn off today. You guys ever have that happen? Or the past couple of days, my mind just won't shut off, man. Buzz, 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 buzz. And I'll get real good and tired, and I'll go lay down, and it just keeps a buzz, buzz, buzzing all the time, Selma. The choose is neat for newcomers. Yeah, I like that too. I thought so too. Hey, Bling. I liked it. It was fun with making it. It was. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed telling it too. I enjoy all your stories. You guys are the best. You know that. Amy Long, I see you down there liking, but I'm going to stick around for a little bit and just hang out, and maybe we'll tell another story. We'll see how she goes. But I think I'll probably just for now hang out and maybe cut it a little bit easier tonight. Hey, Mike Borrow. Hey, buddy. Thank you guys. Hey, Coach. Hey, Big R. Appreciate it, Mike. You guys are absolutely amazing. We've had friends that have shared and liked Up a Storm, gifted, been absolutely amazing tonight. But used to be like that a lot, but I actually had to have a little bit of medication. I hear that. Yeah. Need something to slow the brain down. You have the worst insomnia? Yeah, me too. Yeah, I do need to hydrate too. And I'm not sure what we're going to do with this weather. I got a big trip ahead of us this week. We got to get to, got a long drive ahead of us. And I'm not really looking forward to it with the weather. So I wonder when the snowstorm or whatever is supposed to start coming in. Isn't it supposed to be coming in pretty soon? The snow that we're supposed to get. You know what, Becky? That's funny. You're not the only one. So I have something called AS, and the cold does make me feel like I'm about dead too. Like I have to really bundle up, and yeah, it's weird. It's really weird though. I think that's why when I'm down south, I do a little bit more like a lizard, do a little bit better. Started in Wichita today, did it? I think they're new to you. Get them interested and they stick around. Oh, good, Rachel. I have a health condition too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I should have read that one. I'm sorry. I love the Hardy Boys choose your own past stories. Well, that's fun. That's kind of what I had an idea to do. That's what I had an idea to do. Hey, Jay, thank you so much. Hey. So we'll do a little bit both. We'll switch back and forth, and we'll explore that again. I really could do that for days. I just thought you guys were getting tired of it. It just didn't seem like it was going over too well. I was like, maybe we'll try something different. But we'll see. Hey, good man. Howdy. Lady Sabbath. Hey, lady. Hope you're doing well. But I think I will cut it out tonight. We'll see you guys back tomorrow for story time. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock. If we try something different, it'll be a little bit later at 10, but I think we're going to stick with the 9. And please do share with your friends. Maybe go find a video or two that you like and share it out. And as always, if you wanted to find other ways that you could help support us, we have a podcast out now. It's $2.99. It's not that much. It's on Patreon. I figured that, it's about a couple cup of coffee or something like that. But that would really help us out. And there's always giving ways that you could help. If you wanted to help fund our show and what we're up to, then we have our link tree with all those goodies on there that Shelly set up. And those help more than you will ever possibly know. TikTok used to have a tip feature. Did you know that? We used to really enjoy the tip feature because they let the content creator have all of it. So, like if they really enjoyed the story, somebody could go over there and tip, and we got the whole thing, and they did away with that. I wonder why. I'll tell you why. Because they weren't getting a cut. They didn't like that. Anyhow, we'd love to have you. I don't want anything for free. I mean, you know, that's why we tell the stories. We feel like at least we try to bring some joy and some happiness and maybe change your world a little bit. This week we also hope to have our phone number up too for people that need a chat, need somebody to talk to. I got to be really careful talking about it because Uncle TikTok, even though I try to help, they don't view it as that. But I used to have a bad drinking problem up until a few years ago, and before that a really bad pill problem. And really, really bad. I talk about it very rarely, but it led to horrible depression and probably the worst time in my life where I didn't really want to be here anymore. Wanted to check out. And I did the single greatest thing I could have done, and I talked to somebody, then I asked for some help. So I want you to know, and not that any of you are struggling or anything, but if you ever do, or if you have a loved one that is, you know, don't give up on them, and don't give up on yourself, but reach out to somebody instead, because you can do it. You can. If I can, you can. And it's been almost 3 years for alcohol for me, and a lot longer for the other. But yeah, so we're here for you. I check my hidden messages. Lot Lizard, you do. But I check my hidden messages, or the ones that are whatever reserved messages, every night, right, a couple times a day, just for that, you know. Creature has been where all of us has been. He understands. Yeah, there'll be no judgment here whatsoever. You'd never get any judgment from me, buddy. But you know we love you. So thank you, trying. I know, scandalous. I know you're amazing. You just hold in there. All of us that struggle, you know, we just have to hold in there. The best thing to do would always be here. Yeah. So sometimes I don't say that enough, but 6 a.m. for my snowstorm. Oh man. I might be seeing you guys again really early with snow. Wouldn't that be something? I want to actually go. You want to walk out real quick and take a peek? I might just need a break and then come back for a minute. Need to get up and do something. I'm getting tired of just sitting. Let's go have a peek out the door and see how cold it is. I was wanting to go for a ride and do all kinds of stuff tonight, but I just feel a little dumpy. Just chilling. And there are. I'm sorry, guys. Hey, Sarah Stone. I'm so sorry. I just came to check, and I just saw that there were people there, and I hope you're still there. If not, I'll try to look you up. You see? Oh, Megan, I don't know how you catch everything. You're so good. Let me get out here. Shelly let me use her phone so we could go on Uncle Yub and let you guys know that way we're always live. A couple places if anything ever goes strange. And we're hoping that we're going to start doing some more adventure stuff on Uncle Yub because Uncle Tickety Talk won't let me do a lot of that. So, Sarah, I'm glad you're here. And we're going to be doing this every night here too. So we might come on a little bit later if Shelly needs your phone or something. But as soon as I can afford another phone or device I can film with, and I'll get another one. So we'll be on all the time. But yeah, my Patreon's only $2.99 a month. It's less than a Starbucks and better for you. Man, if it'd be so great. And we're getting our guests lined up and everything for this next episode to be out this following week. Since we're traveling, it might be a little bit more difficult, but we're going to get it out to you shortly, I promise. And it'll be another fun episode. I'm excited for that. So, yay! It'll be good. But anyway, I'm going to sign off here and sign off on this one in just a minute. But Uncle Yube, I love you guys. I got to get Shelly her phone, though. So I'll see you tomorrow for this story time, and soon we'll have it to where it's the same as both. All right? But thank you for being here.